The year is 1799, and the place is the town of Al-Ashmunine in Egypt. A French soldier, while digging through rubble to make a defensive wall, stumbled upon a large stone slab. He hacked at it with his pickaxe for a bit and then saw something that made him drop his tool. Etched into the slab were images and symbols that indicated this was no ordinary stone. It was a burial chamber lid, one that had been hiding in plain sight for over 2,000 years. With some effort, the lid was pried open, and inside they found a sarcophagus made of red granite, the kind reserved for the most important mummies. Who was buried here? Let's find out in today's episode of the Pharaoh's Curse. There have been many famous mummies discovered, but few are as well known as the mummy found in this tomb. The reason why, because she may be the only person to have successfully put a curse on an archaeologist. But more on her later. The man who opened this tomb didn't realize what he was getting himself into. He merely thought he discovered something that would get him some recognition. So he did what any rational person would do. He pried the mummy's coffin open and took it home. Of course, because this is a story about a curse, the man soon started experiencing strange events. At first, it was just little things like hearing footsteps behind him when he was alone. But then the nightmares began. They were so vivid and intense that he would wake up screaming. And then the scratches started appearing on his arms and legs. Panicked, he took the mummy back to the tomb and reburied her, but the horrors didn't stop there. Soon he was seeing the specter of an emaciated old woman dragging herself closer and closer. One night, he heard chains dragging metal moans, and then one day he simply vanished. Some say he was dragged into the underworld by the specter. Others say he was simply lost to time and space, never to be seen again. But there is another explanation, one that has to do with the secret of mummification. For centuries, people believed that mummies were cursed. This belief stemmed from the fact that the process of mummification was shrouded in mystery. No one outside of Egypt knew how it was done, and those who tried to break the curse were often met with strange and unexplainable events. In reality, the process wasn't all that mysterious. There were a lot of steps involved, but none of them required supernatural powers. First, the organs were removed from the body. Then the body was washed and wrapped in linen cloth. It was then placed in a coffin and buried. Simple, right? Well, not exactly. You see, the ancient Egyptians believed that the body must be preserved perfectly if it was to survive the journey into the afterlife. They believed that the soul would return to the body, and if it found even the tiniest imperfection, it would be rejected and sent to wander the earth as a ghost. To prevent this, the Egyptians went to great lengths. Not only did they have to remove all of the organs, they also had to remove all of the imperfections from the body itself. They used a variety of tools to scrape away any blemishes, leaving the body smooth and blemish-free. They also used a variety of chemicals to preserve the body. One of the most popular chemicals used was natron, a natural salt found in Egypt. Natron would absorb moisture from the body, which would then dehydrate and mummify. While these steps may seem simple, they required a great deal of skill and precision. If anything went wrong, the mummy could be ruined. And if the mummy was ruined, the person might find themselves cursed for eternity. Perhaps that's what happened to the man who stole the mummy. Perhaps he disturbed her soul by violating her tomb, or perhaps he simply didn't do a good job of mummifying her, and she is now doomed to wander the earth until she is perfect. But there's another possibility, one that has nothing to do with mummification. Perhaps the curse was real. Maybe the mummy really was cursed, and she took her revenge on those who disturbed her. After all, the stories of strange things happening around mummies have been around for centuries. Maybe there's something to them. Who knows? Maybe there are secrets about mummies that we don't know about. Maybe there are things that we can't explain yet. Maybe there are some things that are better left buried in the past. If you liked this episode, please subscribe and comment below if you want to see more episodes about ancient Egypt. Also, check out our other videos. We're sure you'll love them too.